Let me tell you how it really went down that afternoon at Westchester County Airport, because I promise if you'd been there, you'd never forget it. The sky was heavy, full of rain, and that kind of raw tension that seems to seep straight into your bones. Picture a woman, Olivia Bennett, stepping out of a jet-black Mercedes after closing a $1 billion deal in London heels, clicking on wet concrete. Hair immaculate, not a thing out of place. All she wanted was a little peace before her flight home, but the universe had a different plan in mind. You know what I mean? Sometimes the line between privilege and prejudice is as thin as the glass doors to a first-class lounge. The trouble started the second she reached for the lounge door. Jason Miller, the manager, sized her up like she was an imposter at her own party. "I'm sorry, ma'am. This lounge is for first-class passengers only," he said, holding out his hand for her boarding pass and membership card. Olivia handed them over, calm and polite, even as Jason turned the cards over in his hand like they might be fake. He sighed loudly, put on a show for the folks in the lobby like this was some kind of test, and she was failing just by being there. "We'll have to verify this. You wait outside," he told her, nodding toward the rain. So there Olivia stood, her designer coat growing heavy with every drop, watching white passengers stroll past her unbothered, unchallenged, while Jason played gatekeeper with her dignity. 25 minutes crawled by, can you imagine? 25 minutes in the rain while your own employees treat you like an intruder in your own company. Finally, Jason came back, voice cold as the rain. "All right, you can come in, but we'll be keeping an eye on you." No apology. No acknowledgement. Just suspicion, served up neat. Inside, the crystal chandeliers cast a golden glow, but it only made the insult burn hotter. Jason leaned over to a young attendant, Mia Collins, and whispered just loud enough for Olivia to hear, "Keep an eye on that woman. Let me know if she causes trouble." Olivia sat down, composed but simmering, watching the same people she'd given jobs and health insurance treat her like a threat. Across the lounge, Mia watched it all unfold, guilt in her eyes but fear rooting her to her chair. She didn't dare speak Pat least. Not yet. Jason prided himself on sniffing out real VIPs, but his definition was narrow middle-aged white men in tailored suits. Olivia shattered that idea just by sitting there. He checked her name on the computer, saw Bennett, owner/CEO, but either it didn't register or he couldn't accept it. The idea that a black woman could be the boss? Inconceivable to a guy like Jason. After a while, Olivia got up and walked toward the boarding stairs, rain dripping off her coat. Her jet, a pristine white Gulfstream, gleamed on the tarmac. But as she approached, Emma Roberts, the head flight attendant, stepped right into her path. "Sorry, private jet. You're not allowed to board," Emma snapped, barely glancing at Olivia's paperwork before dismissing her outright. "You don't look like the kind of passenger we serve. Are you sure you're not supposed to be at the commercial terminal?" Olivia kept her cool, handed over her boarding pass again, and suggested Emma double-check before making assumptions. But Emma just sneered. "A trip like this goes for $75,000. That's not a price most people, especially someone like you, can afford." The ground crew shifted awkwardly, nobody willing to challenge her. Captain Richard Davis, watching from the cockpit, turned his back. Complicity comes in many forms, you know? As Emma called for security, Jason came running, emboldened by the crowd. "You need to leave immediately," he ordered, puffed up and certain. Olivia, though, just looked him in the eye. "Please check the passenger manifest before you make things worse." But neither Emma nor Jason would listen. They laughed off her documents, claiming anyone could fake a black card. The cruelty was almost casual, like they'd done this before and gotten away with it. But Olivia wasn't there to play their game. She raised her phone, her voice icy and deliberate. "Lauren, connect me to Ethan and the executive team immediately. We have a serious situation at Westchester Airport." Emma and Jason froze, suddenly uncertain. When Ethan Bennett's COO and Olivia's brother answered, Olivia said clearly, "I'm being blocked from boarding my own jet by my own employees." The shift in the air was instant. Emma's smirk faltered. Jason's bravado crumbled. But still, they tried to laugh it off, accusing Olivia of pretending to be someone important. But as the minutes ticked by, the truth hit. Captain Davis finally checked the manifest, his face draining of color when he saw, Bennett, owner/CEO at the top. Tyler Evans, his first officer, paled beside him. The realization swept through the staff like a chill. This was the woman who signed their checks, and they just humiliated her in front of everyone. Then, the cavalry arrived, black SUVs, security teams, Ethan leading the charge. The mood flipped. Ethan's anger was cold and surgical. Why was my sister, the CEO of Bennett Aviation, treated like a criminal on her own plane? He demanded. Emma and Jason stammered weak excuses about security procedures, but Ethan wasn't buying it. You thought a black woman couldn't possibly own Bennett Aviation? His words cut deeper than any accusation. Ryan Hughes, head of security, locked down the area, pulled all the footage. The evidence was clear. Mia, the young attendant, finally found her voice apologizing to Olivia in front of everyone. Olivia thanked her, recognizing that real courage is hard to find when the whole room is against you. Inside the jet, Olivia made it clear. Emma Roberts and Jason Miller, effective immediately, both terminated. She suspended Captain Davis for his silence. Then she turned to the staff, her voice carrying the weight of every person who'd ever been shamed or sidelined. This isn't just about two bad apples. It's about a culture that lets prejudice fester. From today, that ends. Olivia and Ethan launched company-wide reforms, anti-bias training, an anonymous hotline, even AI to catch subtle discrimination in internal communication. Mia Collins got promoted for her integrity. Lucas Parker, who tried to speak up but was shouted down, was also recognized and put in charge of service quality. And the world took notice. Olivia's stand became a national headline, then a Harvard Business School case study. She testified before Congress, telling lawmakers, no company can take pride in profits built on injustice. Months later, Emma Roberts, now a symbol of repentance, publicly apologized, joining Bennett Aviation's new training as a living lesson in humility and growth. In the end, Olivia returned home, celebrated her father's birthday, and heard words every child wants to hear. You've taught us that power with purpose can change the world. From humiliation, Olivia built a legacy of courage, accountability, and hope. Now, I gotta ask, if you were standing there, would you have spoken up or looked away? Where do you stand when the world draws that line? Share your thoughts below. And if you believe stories like this matter, share, and subscribe. Let's keep this conversation alive and make sure no one ever gets left standing in the rain again.